Hadith number 254. Narrated by Jubair bin Mut'im. Allah's Apostle said, "As for me, I pour water 3 times on my head." And he pointed with both his hands. Hadith number 255. Narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet used to pour water 3 times on his head. Hadith number 256. Narrated by Abu Ja'far. Jabir bin Abdullah said to me, "Your cousin, Hassan bin Muhammad bin al-Hanafiya, came to me and asked about the bath of Janaba." I replied, "The Prophet uses to take 3 handfuls of water, pour them on his head and then pour more water over his body." Al-Hassan said to me, "I am a hairy man." I replied, "The Prophet had more hair than you." Hadith number 257. Narrated by Maymunah. I placed water for the bath of the Prophet. He washed his hands twice or thrice and then poured water on his left hand and washed his private parts. He rubbed his hands over the earth, and cleaned them, rinsed his mouth, washed his nose by putting water in it and blowing it out, washed his face and both forearms and then poured water over his body. Then he withdrew from that place and washed his feet. Hadith number 258. Narrated by Aisha. Whenever the Prophet took the bath of Janaba, sexual relation or wet dream, he asked for the hilab or some other scent. He used to take it in his hand, rub it first over the right side of his head and then over the left and then rub the middle of his head with both hands. Hadith number 259. Narrated by Maymunah. I placed water for the bath of the Prophet and he poured water with his right hand on his left and washed them. Then he washed his private parts and rubbed his hands on the ground, washed them with water, rinsed his mouth and washed his nose by putting water in it and blowing it out, washed his face and poured water on his head. He withdrew from that place and washed his feet. A piece of cloth, towel, was given to him but he did not use it. Hadith number 260. Narrated by Maymunah. The Prophet took the bath of Janaba. Sexual relation or wet dream. He first cleaned his private parts with his hand, and then rubbed it, that hand, on the wall, earth, and washed it. Then he performed ablution like that for the prayer, and after the bath he washed his feet. Hadith number 261. Narrated by Aisha. The Prophet and I used to take a bath from a single pot of water and our hands used to go in the pot after each other in turn.